it just pisses me off, dude, when I'm driving down the street and I can look. I'm in my truck, so I'm a little bit raised up, and I look over and I see people driving down the road doing this.
Welcome to Dumb Guys Talk About Smart Stuff.
They're freaking texting on their phones, and I just want to freaking smack those people.
Oh yeah. You know the time of day I want to be safe is the morning commute or the going home.
Yeah.
Because you're going home, going to work, you're coming back. It's not people out at the time bars are open. It's not, it's people that have a purpose going to work.
Right.
And you see people shading, you see people like doing their makeup, all that stuff, and sometimes I don't know where the blame should lie, because there's a lot of people like no matter what time you tell them to be there, they're going to be barely making their own time and rushing there.
Right.
Also, there's the whole thing of like.
Hang on, you said you don't know who to blame
well,
about driving and putting on their makeup.
We'll say like there's that angle of like the driver's fault, but there's also like are the employers nailing people too hard for being 2 minutes late or something like that? Do you like?
Well, I have the luxury of working in a place that's very laid back and flexible with time, and I don't like to be constrained in with time like that. I don't want to be punching a clock and having to be there at 8 a.m. and if I'm any later. However, if you've got a job and your employer requires you to be there at 8 o'clock, you should be able to make it there by 8 o'clock.
I think most days, like my thing is like you should be there like 5 minutes earlier. So.
Right. There's no reason why you can't do it. So the fact that you're running so late that you have to shave in the car while you're driving, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely
also,
none.
have you ever noticed, say like, going to work at 8 and going to work at 7:30, the difference? It's like how many people are late.
Right.
Or like if you're a couple minutes late, how packed the traffic is. Like more people are late than on time. Because it's not like the traffic is packed.
And you notice too, like when you start getting to that 8:30 time, they're driving more crazy.
Yeah.
They're weaving in and out of traffic, and they're running through that yellow light that turns red before they get there because they're running late.
Yeah, and I think I had a day once where I knew I was going to run long at work, so I tried to start later, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again. This is crazy. Right. I got to go back to going to work at 7:30, even if I'm going to stay late at the end of the day.
I used to go to work early. I used to get to work like around 7 or before that because traffic was just so much better. Unfortunately, I can't do that now because I got the kid and I got to drop the kid off. But
and that's probably another factor is the people are dropping the kid on the way.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look, I've got a baby. I've got a 2-year-old. I have to, get that kid packed up in a car with all of her stuff while she's screaming and crying and throwing bottles of milk and stuff, and I got to get her to daycare. And get her off so that I can get to work.
Yeah.
But you know what? I do all that, and I'm not an asshole driving on the road. I'm not cutting people off. I'm not driving way faster than the speed limit, weaving in and out of traffic just to arrive at a stoplight at the same time as everyone else.
Yeah.
Because basically, I could drive 90 miles per hour on the highway. When I get to that stoplight in town, everyone's going to get there at the same time because I'm going to sit there and wait for.
I don't know how many times I've been seeing a guy weave through traffic and seeing it at a stoplight. It just happens all the time.
Right.
So, what do you think about the psychology of this whole thing? Because I don't consider myself a great driver at all, and I know there's people out there way better drivers than me, but you see them be extremely rude, and you see them pull these things.
Yeah.
And there's people out there smarter than me probably doing this as well. Do you have any theories about the psychology behind all this, the bad drivers?
I'm no psychologist, okay? But I feel like people, when they get behind the wheel, they're enclosed in this bubble, protected by this metal car, and they get a little bit more brazen. They get, they feel like, they're big and bad and protected, like they can do whatever they want, and they can be rude, and they can flip you off, or they can honk their horn. And I think we brought this up the other day where that doesn't happen in the grocery store. And the psychology goes both ways, because I can get kind of frustrated if someone cuts me off, on the road. But if I'm in the grocery store pushing my cart and someone, cuts in front of me, I mean, I'm probably, I might say, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get angry.
Yeah, well, when that happens in the grocery store, it seems like there's more of a tendency to be like, oh, oops, sorry. And
yeah, right.
Right down the road. It's
and that's the thing, too. It's all about courtesy, and the problem that I have is not people make mistakes.
Mhm.
I make mistakes sometimes. I think the other day when we were driving together, I thought that there was a three-way stop and it wasn't, and I went and I kind of cut a car off.
Yeah.
Well, I give a little wave. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But it's the people who are purposefully doing things because it benefits them.
Yeah.
They want to be the first one there. They want to go faster. They want, they want to be in front.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, I think too, there's this people that think me, and also they don't consider like if everybody did what I did, it would be chaos.
Right.
Because say like we're in California and a lot of freeways are the speed limit 65. You have traffic flowing at 65. You have the guy going 85 weaving through everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If every person there was weaving 85, we'd all die on the way freaking wherever
Right.
we're going. Everybody going 65 has to get out of this way of this one guy being a jerk,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
And just to me, it's just like a little bit of consideration of just like, I'll take a minute, let you go, and then it'll be my turn, rather than this, I go there first, I'm gonna
Right.
cut you off
Yeah.
type of mentality.
And people they don't realize what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize how bad they are when they're driving. Just the other day, I'm driving down the freeway, I'm in the fast lane, and this car gets on the freeway and then immediately starts getting into the fast lane, realizes I'm there because I beeped my horn, and they swerve back. And then when I get beside them, they're yelling at me
Mm-hmm.
because they try to change lanes where I was.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize how horrible they are.
Yeah, and then they're yelling at you, right? Didn't you say that?
Yeah,
they're yelling at
he
you
was
at
yelling
the-
at me for no reason. And it's like, dude, you were the one that tried to get in my lane
Yeah.
where I was. Like, at what point did I do anything wrong here?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, to me it just blows my mind because like the thing that because say like I go through a street that has our local hospitals on it, and there's a lot of people say like they look like nurses, professionals, they might be all medical related professionals, and there's a one road where people that work at in this parking lot, they all run the stop lane, stop the stop sign going on the thing, and so like I always come up there. And it's like, oh, here's the spot, and here comes every time here comes a guy, and everyone look my way, blowing through the stoplight,
Yeah.
going that way.
So what's that about? I mean, these are professionals. These are intelligent people.
They're intelligent people that got more degrees than us dumb guys.
Yeah, I mean,
and I have to watch for them.
right, and we have to show them how you do things correctly.
Yeah, because I mean, looking this way, merging onto traffic means you're not even seeing these people. You're just expecting them to see you and stop.
Yeah, right. In that same area, I drive by that same area every day as well. Just the other day, I had this guy in front of me, and he was doing I think the speed limit on that road is 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fairly slow, reasonable for a small street.
Yeah.
Well, he's driving 10 miles per hour, and I'm like, what's going on here? Yes, he's got a couple of kids bouncing around in the back seat, little kids. And then I realized, when he starts slowing down even more, what he's doing, because he keeps looking down. He keeps looking down like this. And he's not paying any attention. And then I notice he's swerving. He's swerving every once in a while. I look up and he'll go like this. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I give a little beep beep, and he looks up in his mirror, and then he goes back to what he's doing. He did this for probably 3 miles down a busy road at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He was texting with 2 kids in the back seat. Well, driving in busy traffic. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you wonder what he's texting about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
You can almost
Hey man, you got any weed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that type of thing, or do we have milk at home?
Yeah.
And it's like
right.
you're risking people's lives
Right.
over this.
Yeah. Because he wants to save 5 minutes so he doesn't have to pull over.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had those moments driving, and I feel my phone buzz in my pocket, and I'm like, and I kind of go, and then go, oh wait, I'm driving.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Right.
So I've never gone that far to where I'm like this.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I'm trying to set an example for my kids. I mean, my daughter just got a driver's license. I don't want her off on her cell phone texting because she saw me doing it, thinking, once in a while it's
well,
okay.
also, how can you tell her no if she sees you doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
We kind of live in a small area, so people kind of drive like they're on country roads. And so a lot of times what you see here is people taking corners straight.
Mm-hmm.
Say like if you go down south into the Bay Area, like San Francisco area, there's a little bit more politeness, I think, like on those 5-lane freeways, but at the same time it's the stress of that situation.
I don't agree with that really, because I was actually just going to say the opposite.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really compare the two because down in the Bay Area, there's so many people, That it's just that much more crowded,
Yeah.
that much more disconnected from people. Like, I mean, when I'm driving up here, at least, I'm driving down the road and I'm like, this guy's a asshole.
Yeah.
This guy just cut me off and yelled at me because he did it. But do I want to flip him off? You know, because
Yeah.
I might see this guy in the supermarket tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a small town.
Because it's such a small area,
Yeah,
so
you're more likely to have that redneck that has the shotgun in the back.
exactly.
Oh.
Whereas when you're down south in the city where there's a million people, I'm never gonna see this guy again.
Yeah.
I might roll down my window and throw a penny at him.
Yeah. The one thing, the thing I was pointing out is that here is where you'll see, go to change lanes, you'll see the person speed up to block you.
Yeah, perhaps.
I mean, that's kind of what I was referring to.
I don't know. I've seen.
Because I've had a lot of experience of like being in this 5 lanes, like here comes cars merging off from this other freeway, and the people let me over to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Which whereas Humboldt, we actually had a fatal accident here, to where a car was coming up very fast on another car, and then here comes a car on the on ramp. This guy moves to let him go, and the guy keeps going really fast through both of them, and causes this huge rollover wreck. And the guy going really fast was the one that died. On that one. So
Usually it's the other way around, where the person that was doing something dumb kills somebody
is
else.
the one that lives.
Yeah. I mean, and it's basic things. Like, if you follow basic laws, like people, I don't even know how, like, it's almost like it's a joke, but people can't even stay on their side of the double yellow line.
Yeah.
And making a turn.
Yeah.
Like, it's that difficult, where they can't help but make a turn and pull into the shoulder. Like, how do you not know how to make a right-hand turn and not pull into the shoulder?
I think don't you have a rant about suicide lanes?
Oh man, don't get me started on suicide lanes.
Yeah.
Dude, suicide lanes drive me freaking crazy because, I mean, they're already dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why they're called suicide lanes. And then people use them incorrectly,
Yes.
right? People, if you want to make a left-hand turn onto a busy street, then you wait and be patient.
Yes.
The suicide lane is not for you to sit in and wait for traffic to clear.
Or to speed up with the right-hand traffic and then try to merge in.
Right.
Or to make those wild turns to where you see this guy going, you're swerve because you don't know he's going to stop in the suicide lane.
Yeah, right.
And if you're beside him, you know the spot up here with the building with the 2 domes.
Yep.
And people do that right
And
there
all the time.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's 2 possibilities. One is they don't know any better. They don't realize what the suicide lane is for, and they think that that's what it's for.
You know, I've been driving before, and I've had like the backseat drivers tell me to do that, and like, they think that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. Yeah. And that's not what you're supposed to do. I mean, you can look this up. I might be dumb, but I've looked this up before because it drives me crazy.
You know, Oregon actually has signs that says suicide lanes only for turns.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You know,
But
I haven't done a lot of
I've
driving.
never seen those signs in California though.
I haven't seen them in California either, and unfortunately, the cops don't do anything. That's another thing I was going to talk about. You know, when it comes to the mentality, you know, the psychology of this, it seems like the way people drive, all depends on if there's a cop nearby.
It does, and that kind of goes to like, do you still have that mentality of, do you only behave like those kids only behave when their parents are around?
Yeah. Right. Well, it goes to, you know, just to bring it a little bit farther, like, if murder was not against the law, would it happen all the time?
Yeah, or taking. I think a good, because I think a lot of murder might be an extreme one, but I think like, what is yours and what is this person's?
Yeah.
That like that would be very, and we see that I think with capitalism a lot. The people that have $1 billion here, this person starving to death, and he has no remorse. It's that mentality of like, I can take as much as I want on the road as long as I don't get a ticket. I'm not caught. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Do you have that remorseful feeling of afterwards, like I was rude to somebody on the road? Like,
You know,
like how even you brought up, you cut somebody off. Like it's like, do they even? I got away with it.
Yeah, right.
type of
Well,
thing.
it's funny because I know someone, and they just told me recently, they're like, I haven't had a ticket in 10 years. And they followed up by saying, and I drive like a madman. And you know what they do?
Yeah.
I'm scared
Yeah.
when I'm in the car with them because they do everything that I, as a driver,